everybody, Kendra the Vet Tech here, and today we're going to talk about some restraint techniques and some equipment needed for that for our swine appointments. So today we're going to talk about use of sorting boards, a snare, and a piggy belly scratcher. So we'll get started with those equipment pieces today with just our sorting boards here. And helping me out today as my assistant is my dad, Rick. These are his hogs that we're going to be working with today. So we'll get started with our sorting boards. Things that I want you to remember before we get started are when we're working with large animals, their shoulder is our turning point. So if we're in front of the shoulder up towards their head, they're going to turn around and go the other direction. When we're behind their shoulder towards their rear end, they're going to go ahead and move forward in whatever direction we were already moving in. So we're going to have two sorting boards. This is a team effort to try and get a pig off into a corner and confined in a corner for exams, diagnostics, treatments, whatever we need to be doing with them. So I'll hand off a board to my dad here. Just make sure you keep an eye on how we're working together as a team, and we're going to try and get one of these gilts sorted into a corner of the pen here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and try and get this gilt sorted off here. Watch how we work as a team, use our boards to build a wall. One of us will stay behind and one of us will stay kind of up at her shoulder to get her into this corner where we want to work her. All right, now that we've got her trapped, take a wide stance to keep support on your board from the outside. You'll also have your hands at a wide grip so that we can push down and keep support from the top. So remember, when we're working with the sorting boards, we're going to be forming kind of a wall, another angle with our friend here. We'll have some fences on the backside. You might have to adjust your positioning with your friend depending on how large or small the pig is. The other things you want to keep in mind are on the wide grips here so that we have full control over the full length of the board on the top, and we can put pressure down from the top so the pigs can't root as hard from the bottom and get out from underneath. The other thing we want to do is adopt a wide stance with our feet and support our board on either end. If we get our feet in too close, we don't have a wide base if they start moving the board, and they can angle it pretty easily with their snout. So take a wide base with your feet so you have control over how the board moves on the bottom as well. All right, so the second piece of equipment for restraint that we're going to talk about is the snare. So the snare has a cable here at the end that's adjustable. We can open wide. This is how wide we want it when we put it into the pig's mouth. You want to make sure that you get back behind their canine teeth before you shrink it down to the size. This is because if you get too far forward, it'll slip off of their maxilla and then you're just holding the soft tissue of the nose, which is not adequate for restraint and painful for the animal. So you want to make sure that you get the snare far back in the mouth behind the canines before you cinch down for restraint. So when we do this, we're going to have control of their head, and then we just want to make sure that their body is ideally backed into a corner somewhere so we have pretty minimal movement on the part of the animal. And the last restraint device that I was going to show you guys today is the pig fork. So this is just a belly scratcher. It works really well for pigs that are more of the pet pig variety. A lot of the ones that are like these pigs here, the market pigs, generally they're not touched and handled as much, so this wouldn't work for them. But pet pigs usually like lots of belly scratches and belly rubs, and so you can extend this guy out so you don't get too much in their space. Give them a nice belly scratch, and usually they'll lay right down for you to do a quick physical exam, maybe even trim some feet if they're really well trained. If you need to put them on their back to trim their feet, at least getting them on their belly is a good place to start. So this little guy is super handy for your pet pigs that you might be seeing. And that wraps us up for today, guys, for the 3 types of pig restraint equipment that you might see around your practice or use around your practice and how to use them. I do want to remind you again about ear protection. It's really important when we're working with pigs. I didn't wear any today because we're out here in the great outdoors and we're not pestering these pigs too terribly much. But do make sure that you have some handy to be able to wear, especially indoors when we're working with pigs. If you like this video, feel free to hit like and subscribe. If you have questions, comments, concerns, do feel free to leave them below, or you can hit me up at kendrathevettech@gmail.com. If you're interested in learning about some credentialed veterinary technician careers, do feel free to check out my podcast, Kendra the Vet Tech, on your favorite podcast platforms. And I can also be found on Facebook and Instagram at Kendra the Vet Tech. Thanks, guys.